In the last video, we saw how easy it was to take some HTML and just move it into functions. As we scale a code base, you might find that functions are great at first, but at some point you might want to start breaking out your UI code into their own separate files and just importing them, like importing a button component or importing a header, etc. So let's take a look at how we can do that with Elm just by creating some files. So this was our kind of crazy little app that we made where it's just headers and paragraphs. Let's make something that looks a little bit more like a web page. So what I'm going to do is from now on, I'm going to just be really lazy and I'm just going to do import exposing everything for HTML and for HTML attributes, just so we can focus on adding, class, XYZ or ID 123 without having to worry about the imports every time. So what I want to do is I'm going to delete all the stuff that we had from the last video. And I'm just going to start with, a page class. We're going to have a view header. We're going to have a view main content, and we're going to have a view footer function. And so the header is just going to be, H3 that says header. Boop, boop. And we can even use the built-in header HTML element. We can use the footer, and then we're going to use main underscore. HTML exposes main underscore so that it doesn't conflict with main, which is that special function that's the entry point to our application whenever we're working with Elm Reactor or making an actual Elm program. So all these things should work. Let's see if I save this. If this works as I expect. So all we did here was we made a page and we added these three functions. And so you can see header, main content, and footer. Those are all getting rendered here with the tags that we expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this code and I'm going to move it into its own file. And that file is going to be components.header. So taking a variable and moving it into a function, or taking a bit of HTML and moving it into a function is super easy and straightforward. It's just as easy to take something like this, move this, and then be able to say components.header.view. So we're getting an error message because we haven't defined components.header yet. Let's open up our editor here. I'm going to delete this email type. We're not using that anymore. And I'm going to make a new folder, components, and a header.elm file inside of it. So inside of this thing, let me hide that real quick. Module components header. I'm going to expose a single view function. And again, I'm going to want to make sure that I have access to all those HTML elements and all the attributes that I might need. And all I'm going to do is expose a view function that just returns some markup. So header from components.header. I save that. In here, I'm using this. I refresh, and look, we've got the text that's from this other file. So we're able to start to break apart our components into their own files. So let's do that again with footer, just to kind of see if we've got it down. Fodder. So I'm going to save that. I copy that. I'm going to paste this. We're just going to follow that same pattern. Footer, and then I'm going to leave this in here for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm going to make a new file actually, footer.elm, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did here. Paste that in, footer, and all I'm going to do is use this footer thing, my footer from components.footer. So again, it's just a simple module, and all it exposes is a view function. So modules can expose functions, types, whatever you want. They could be strings, ints. You can also just expose HTML values. HTML is just a value like anything else. It's not special. It's not a special syntax or anything like that. So now that we have this, we can get rid of this footer. And I'm going to just add an annotation to this, main content. It's also going to be HTML. So as I refresh, we're getting code from our components.footer file. We're getting code from components.header, and we can start to build things out. So, if we wanted like a nav bar, we can add some like styles and stuff like that. Let's make it pretty, and we're just going to use style tags. Let's see what we can get away with. Normally we'd use CSS for this kind of thing, but I'm just going to show you just an example of adding some styles and then being able to quickly reuse things. So style, background, what's a good background color? Let's make it pink. It'll be fun. And then I'm gonna make the style have some padding around it. And then I'm also going to use justify content to add space in between the children. And this will allow us to have things like my cool app. And then maybe we have like a link, which is, sign in or something. Sign in, and I can't forget to use text here because this shouldn't be a list of strings. This needs to use text to become a list of HTML elements. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to refresh, and boom, we almost have an app. We're working on it. But you can do all kinds of stuff here, right? So if pink's not your style, you can do that. If you want to have a dark header, it's really easy to just start building stuff really fast. And as you make mistakes, like that, for example, let me just do this, or we can say, color inherit. As you make mistakes and things like that, you're going to get just really nice feedback. It's going to tell you exactly what file has the trouble, and it's going to tell you, what went wrong and give you suggestions for how to help fix that. So we can start to imagine, we can, build apps that are actually pretty great. Let's take a look at this. Go in here. I'm going to add this in. And then we're going to say this is going to be display flex, and we're going to give it a minimum height because I'm crazy. We're going to say it's going to be 100 VH. This is not, the best CSS, but it'll get the job done. Flex direction column. This is the problem with these videos. I just have too much fun. Once I start building an LMAP, I just want to build a whole thing. So I'm going to do that. View main content. Let's put a flex in there, so that this thing stretches to fill its parent container. Boom. All right, so now we got the main content going from top to bottom. We're going to steal some code over here for this footer. And we're going to do the same kind of thing here. We don't want this background though. We want F000, that, and we're going to have, just an absolutely massive padding bottom here for our footer. And we can keep that text, copyright. What day is it? What year is it? Copyright 2024. I don't even know. I don't even know what copyright is, to be honest with you. I just put it on my websites. Bottom, save it, done. Look at that. We've got an app. We got an app. We can add some padding. I gotta make it pretty. But yeah, that's an app, you guys. We did it. So it's pretty easy to just start to build things. Once you have the building blocks, if you're excited about this, like I am, where you just want to start building stuff, feel free to pause the video, download Elm, and just play around with this yourself and make something cool. But we're gonna keep going. In the next video, I'm gonna finally explain what the heck is this message parameter. This was something that I really struggled with, and as you start to scale your app, if you don't know what this is, it's gonna drive you crazy. But the explanation is pretty simple. It can be helpful to have someone walk you through it the first time you see it. So hopefully I can be that person for you, and I'll see you in the next video.